Okay, so if you heard that, now we're recording, and that way I can then post this to anyone who's not able to be here that wants to get information. Okay, a little bit about myself. I'm from Tulare, born and raised in Tulare. I have been an instructor for the College of the Sequoias now since 2027, so 2007. At least, actually, it was before then. I was a part-time faculty before then, and then I became full-time in 27. I teach primarily accounting business classes. So this is an accounting class, so we should be good to go. Let's see. There's not much more about me. I actually am a CPA. I have my own practice, and it's in Tulare. Been in business on my own since 2005, actually. So pretty busy, but we always make time for our students because that's important. So let's see. What else do you need to know? Prior to working here, I actually worked in the private sector, various jobs. I mean, I was a controller for a small ag company in Exeter, and then worked for the city of Sanger for a while. Actually, first for the city of Sanger, then for the ag company, and then started working as a full-time faculty in 2007. I have my undergraduate degree, jumping all over the place, but my educational background is my undergraduate degree is a Bachelor's of Science in Business Administration with an emphasis in accounting. And then my master's degree, an MBA with an emphasis on information systems. Let's see. Pretty much it. I was a controller for the private companies, and now I'm an accountant for a CPA. Well, I have my own CPA from here in Tulare. Let's see. Personally, I've been married now for, I don't know, it's been a while, 30, this can be 32 years this year, to the same person. So that's kind of cool. She's put up with me for the 33 years, and I'm blessed to have her. I have a beautiful little girl. She's not so little, she's actually 25, and she actually just graduated last year from Fresno State. She's a liberal arts major, and she's taken on a position at Sendale Elementary, so she's teaching over there. And which is really good because I'm running out of money, and she can then start to support her dad instead of me supporting her. That's kind of cool. Let's see, what else? That's pretty much it for me. Does anybody have any questions about me as a person, as an instructor? Any questions about accounting at all? This is the time to kind of chime in. If you do, unmute yourself because all of you are muted. So any questions, issues, or concerns? We'll go over the accounting, the syllabus right now. So nothing related to the course itself, just about me personally, or anything about professions in accounting or anything like that. Any questions at all? One at a time, please. All right. If you do have questions either now or later, don't hesitate to either bring it up during one of these meetings or email it to me, and I'll be happy to either respond to the email or even set up some time we can talk online as well. Okay. This is a strictly online course, so there really is no requirement for us to be meeting online. You know, for the most part, everything is strictly online. I do allow for you to email me and ask if we need to get online to go over some things. We can do it that way. You can send me emails, and I'm pretty good at responding in emails. Pretty good. I mean, I wish I was perfect, but my objective is to always get back within 24 hours. So what that means is most of your assignments, I think, are due, I don't know, I think they're due on Sunday evenings. I'm not sure, we'll check right now. But if they are, you have to, if you want to make sure you have enough time for me to respond to a question that you have on a specific problem, make sure you're ahead of the game. You got to be on top of it so that you're not waiting. Because if you send me an email Saturday night or 24 hours before the due time, there might be a chance I might not be able to get back at you. Particularly Sundays, because Sundays is like a day of rest for me. So hopefully I didn't do that. But if I did, that's the way it'll be. So Let me go ahead, and if you guys are okay with it, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And let's see, what do I want to do? Let's go ahead. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and pull up. Oops, let's just go back to this. And can you guys see my screen now?
Yeah, we can see it.
Very good. All right, so I'm going to go and click on, first of all, when you get in, I'm a little confused. Can anybody help me? What do you guys think I should click first when I go into, this is a tough one. What do you guys think? Any hints here?
Right here.
Start here, there you go. So let's click on that. And then you should have access immediately to the syllabus, the course calendar. Those are the two most important documents you need immediately. And then there's other things that could be resources for you in the future. Now, this is one way to access the syllabus and the calendar.
I just want to talk.
You can also,
Wait, do you want to like that or what?
you can also go to modules, and there's another Start Here module here, which has the syllabus, the calendar, and the syllabus. Okay. So let's do the first thing first. Let's get this syllabus up so that we're real clear on what the requirements are for the course. And there we go. Right there. All right. So here's the syllabus. I'll build this up a little bit. First part here is kind of going over what I talked about earlier to you, just a little bit more detail, but you can read through it at your leisure. The textbook is listed here. It's the 12th edition. I've gotten quite a few questions about the textbook and how to go about the acquisition of it. The textbook, you can either have the physical, first of all, you need two things. You need a textbook, and you also need access to My Accounting Lab. Those are two required elements of the course. There's no way around it. Now, how you go about it is really kind of, there's a lot of options for you. The most expensive option, which some of you would actually prefer because it just works for you, is to go to the COS bookstore and purchase the book itself, plus with the book comes the My Accounting Lab subscription. And so that means that when you go in and try to log on to My Accounting Lab, it's going to, one of the options is to enter a code to confirm you purchased it already. You enter that code and you're in. And the textbook is going to be probably a newer textbook with everything you need. So that's the one option. I don't know if anybody, has anybody purchased one from the bookstore yet? Any students actually buy it from the COS bookstore? Okay, well, I'm guessing somewhere between $250 and $300, something like that for the course. So that's probably on the higher end of what it would cost for the materials. The other option is to purchase, go online to My Accounting Lab, and you do that through Canvas. That's the most important thing to remember. Do not go to My Accounting Lab website, because then it's going to ask, if you do that, it's not necessarily incorrect. In fact, if you buy the access code from COS bookstore, you might get instructions to do that, to go to myaccountinglab.com. And I put in the Canvas instructions that tells you do not do that. Everything is done through Canvas. In fact, it says if My Accounting Lab is embedded in Canvas. A course ID is not required because you're going to access it. You still have to pay for the subscription, but a course ID is not required because you're going to go through Canvas, and you're going to use the links in Canvas to access your course. And I'll kind of show you how that's going to work. Hopefully, most of you have already done this It's not a big deal, but we'll go through it just in case. All right. Scrolling through the syllabus at the bottom, course goals, you can read through that. Course objectives, read through those. Student learning outcomes, you can read through that. And then we have the course content, which includes the financial statements, transactions, accrual. These are really all the chapters that we cover. You can read through that. Evaluation, here's the one thing that I really want us to definitely emphasize. Late assignments will not be accepted. I guess that's why it's in all caps and in bold, okay? So that you understand, every and all assignments must be submitted by the day and time that's listed in either on the calendar is the primary, and then hopefully I set up the schedule online to be consistent with the calendar. But the calendar is really the guiding law, so to speak, or the guiding structure that we need to follow. So whatever the course calendar says, unless I determine that it's wrong, will be ultimately what it needs to be. Hopefully I set everything up. I do a lot of setups, and so sometimes I miss something, and if I did, we're going to go back to the course calendar as the dictator of what it should be. So, and then it goes on to say that there will be no makeup tests or quizzes. Missed quizzes will result in a grade of 0. Okay. Now, are there exceptions to the rules? Yes, of course, there can always be an exception, but it's got to be pretty critical. In other words, usually what I use is a medical emergency as an example. A medical emergency where there was just no way for you to figure out a way to get it done. So, another example would be there were some fires up last year in the Three Rivers area, and so that was obviously a reason to give some extensions for those people that were stuck in those, and they had to do some extra things. So anyway, so there can be an exception, and you can send an email to me requesting. But if you send me an email that says, well, I'm real busy at work this week and it just didn't, I just didn't have the time, that would be denied because we've got a whole week to try to get most of these done, and you've got to schedule it ahead and make sure that you get your work done. That becomes a priority for you. Okay. Any questions about assignments being accepted late or not late, or how we're going to deal with this? Are there any questions on that? Let me see, move this over so I can see all of you guys. Okay. And then the discussion board, because we're moving so quickly to the summer, it's a little bit different than my semester. You're not really required to have discussions, although the questions that are asked are more discussion oriented. But you certainly have to post one reply message that contains 2 well-developed paragraphs and clearly addresses the discussion questions. So the instructor will not consider a single sentence a paragraph well-developed. So you really have to get on, and we'll take a look at what those discussion questions are about. But so you simply have to go in and really just post one reply. They're pretty intensive type questions, so it's going to take you a little bit of time, but make sure you address those questions. And it's either a go or no go. If you've actually responded and got to it, that's good. If you didn't get to it, then you're going to get a 0. Correct? There's no like half points or 50% or anything. Just make sure you reply to the discussion and make sure it's complete and addresses. I'm going to be a little bit lenient on accuracy, but it really shouldn't be inaccurate because they're really questions that are coming from the textbook. So you should be dead on. It's a good way to get you guys to go back to your textbook and study and look at the specific concepts in the textbook that help you understand what you're doing on the problems. Okay. Any questions about the discussion? All right, so we move on to the drop policy. You're going to have to monitor this. Generally speaking, I don't usually drop people, especially if they've at least logged in at least once during the class. I think it's today I'm supposed to submit something, or tomorrow. So if you have not logged in by today or tomorrow, then you may be at risk. After that, then, if you want to drop the class, you better initiate that process, because I'm not going to be dropping students. So make sure you initiate that to make sure you get off the roll if you don't want to, otherwise you'll end up with a really bad grade. There are computer use permits, but I'm not sure if the school is actually open right now. I know that we're planning to be open for the fall, but you can check on that. But I don't even think that the labs are going to be open. So hopefully you're taking this as an online class for the summer. Hopefully you have access to computers at home. Otherwise, it's going to be kind of difficult. Food or drink. You can have food or drink at your computers. I'll be okay with it. Computer use. Oh, this is more about using the computers at school. No cheating or plagiarism. That goes without saying with all of your classes. Here are the points spread for the actual assignments, exams, homework assignments, quizzes, the final exam, and discussions. And those are the points, the number of them that you have in the points. Pay attention to the proportionality of things. You know, obviously 31.3% is not huge, but it's certainly a big chunk of your overall score. And then the final exam is another 15%. So if you look at this plus that, we're looking at 47%, yeah, about 47% of your grade just for those. So, but nevertheless, you have your homework assignments, your quizzes, and your discussions. And actually, the discussions will probably be the easiest grade because I don't grade for accuracy. I grade for completeness and making sure you're demonstrating you're looking at the textbook and studying it, okay? So, so make sure you get, especially if you want a very good grade in this class, make sure you do all of these. If you try to figure which one you can get away with, you'll end up, I mean, that's, if you don't do any of the discussions, you're going to lose 1 letter grade. So you don't want to do that. We do have a final exam on the last day of class that's scheduled for June 25th, 2021. Because the week is a 4-week, shared submissions will be accepted up until Monday, June 28th, 2021, 11:59 p.m. So I'm giving you an extra day after, or actually even more. It's actually Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and even to the following Monday. So technically, the whole course summer session ends June 25th. But again, this is a 4-week program, so I'm giving you a little bit more for those last assignments. I think it may be all the assignments that are due that week that are due. We'll check on the calendar, but just as a reminder, you know, that's what we have going on. Any questions about the assignments, the points, the proportionality, and the final exam? None? Oh my goodness, this must be really good, complete, huh? Okay. All right, so that takes care of the syllabus. Let's go take a look at the calendar. Now, I must tell you, this is a 17-week course, 17.5-week course that normally uses up every bit of the 17.5 weeks. And we're doing it in a little less than 4 weeks. So you can immediately see that as early as June 7th, which is Monday at 11:59. So I do push it off to 11:59, and I do Mondays. All right. All of your assignments are due. Okay. Your discussions and your assignments are due on Monday, and that works out better because our class technically didn't start until today. So Monday is our due date. You'll have 1, 2, including today, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days to complete assignments in chapter 1, 2, and 3. And then there's also the first exam. So this again normally takes the first 3 weeks of a normal semester class. We're pushing through it in 1 week. Right? So be careful. If this starts to seem almost immediately a little too much for you, I do teach this course again over 6 weeks that starts in 2 weeks. It starts on the 14th. Okay. So if you're concerned that this is moving too fast, you know, you might go ahead and make an adjustment. You can pull out of this course as long as you do it within the drop date time, and then immediately sign up for the course that's scheduled to start on the 14th. Okay, and that may make it so that it runs a little, you know, with a little bit more time on things. It's not much more time, but you know, a little bit helps, I guess. We do less. We spread the entire chapters out for a little bit of time. All right, next week, we're going to start on chapters 4, 5, and 6. 4, 5, and 6, and then we have exam number 2. And just as a reminder, these dates are pretty much set. You know, you're going to have extraordinary circumstances for you to, for me to consider an extension. Now, there may be, like, if, for example, my accounting lab goes down for a day, then I may do a blanket extension, but that would be for everybody. That wouldn't be anyone. The other thing you have to be real conscious of is two things. I say, everything is computer based. You need to have at least two browsers on your computer in case one browser seems to be choking on my lab, okay? And then you should have at least another computer device that you could access in case one device goes down on you. And you should actually have two sources of internet for you to get on in case one goes down. So it's your responsibility to have backups. I can't use technology as a way of giving an extension to any one individual, because you guys know, some students will take advantage of it, and they'll say every week that, oh, their computer was down in it. So it's up to you guys to make sure that you have backups in place, okay? This is an online course, so you have to make sure you have your tools ready to go. All right, so make sure you have plenty of options for you so that if you have any technology issues, you can address them right away. Now, on occasion, my accounting lab does hiccup, and there's some things, and when that happens, I almost always give extensions, especially if it's for like a whole day. If it's just for an hour or two, I may decide, no, that's not enough time to warrant an extension for a full day. But if it's for like an entire day or even a half a day, I likely will extend things. So I'll be watching for it, and I get some notices, and then I inevitably get students telling me, hey, things are not working out so well. What I'll do is I'll test to see if I can get on without much trouble. And if I can, then I know the site is okay, and it's just something that's going on in your end. Okay, and then the remaining assignments, it's pretty much kind of a pattern that I'm really consistent. It looks like we're covering 3 chapters every week. And then the final week is 10, 11, and 12. And again, technically the class ends on, well, I go ahead and the course ends on, I guess it's the Friday, which is Friday the 25th. Yeah, it ends on the 25th, but I'm going ahead and extend everybody's assignments to June 28th so that you have a few more days to kind of finalize everything. That gives you, as if it's a full week for you for this class, okay, for this last week. Any questions about the calendar?
Russ.
Sorry, go ahead. Is that Jabari? Oh, you put it on mute. Okay, I thought maybe you had a question. So.
Yeah, sorry, my Wi-Fi disconnected.
Okay, what's your question?
Oh, I didn't have a question. I was just joining back the meeting to see what we were talking about still.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, let's go back to Canvas. Let's go back to what I mentioned to you, looking at the discussion questions. First of all, there's a couple ways you can do this. You can go to assignments and then work through the assignments this way. They should have the due date listed there, okay? Everything is there, so you can kind of work through it. You can go to modules, and you have your start here, which has all the information. By the way, there is a questions thread here, and I think I have it subscribed. So if you post a question here, I should get an email telling me you posted it, and I'll try to get back to you as quickly as possible. So that's one way to post information. There's also some resource information, how to register with my lab. Most of you have actually already taken like my math lab, so this will be kind of very much, well, it is the same way of doing it. So in most cases, when you want to go ahead and start working on your homework or get registered, you'll click. None of these will work. You'll have to go to one of the assignments. And let's say, for example, you'll click on the first assignment here, which is chapter 1, part 1. And when you do that, you're going to get this. And then you'll see your assignments. You may or may not see the assignments here. I don't know, but if you don't see your assignments, you'll have a screen that you can click on that gets you to the point where you can actually start registering for MyLab. And then at that time, you want to make sure you have a credit card available so that you can get everything paid for. Now, they do offer, and I think it's a two-week temporary access. And so you can go 2 weeks. I guess if you can go in and do all your homework assignments within 2 weeks, you might get away without having to pay for the lab. But that's a trick. Oh, and the one thing, I think when I was checking, there was some other options. That well, I did mention. You can actually click on this and sign up for My Accounting Lab, but also sign up or ask. I think it's another $20 or so. You'll get an online book, so that you can actually not have a physical book in front of you, but do your homework on an online book. Now, those work okay, particularly if you have double screens or dual screens, where you can actually put your textbook on one screen while you work on your assignments on another. That's when it's ideal. You can still do it with one screen, but you'll have to be flipping back and forth trying to look at what your textbook says and then get the assignments done. All right. So that's an option. But I think the least expensive with the subscription, I want to say the subscription is something like $70, something like that online. If you go through my Accounting Lab, you click on one of these and you start signing up for it. And then, or maybe actually, I think it's closer to $100. And then if you want the ebook, I think they charge another $20. So I want to say, and if you guys know better and you can correct me, I think it's like $120 for full subscription to My Accounting Lab and also an ebook. And so that's, I think, would be the least expensive way. Although I think you can also just sign up for My Accounting Lab and then go to a reputable source that rents the books, and maybe you can get away with a rental for less than $20 from maybe Amazon. Okay, but be careful. You don't want to sign up for some place that you don't know anything about that seems really cheap, and it ends up not working out for you. So, because I'm sure there's a lot of scams out there, especially for textbooks. So, so I'll show you what it would look like. The other way that you can actually do it, you can click on My Lab, and then you'll have a button up here, and that'll be the first step to registering for My Accounting Lab as well. So, but once you're registered, you'll get some screen that looks a little bit like this. Probably not, because mine is like it is the instructor's view. So, but you will have like a panel here that you can choose from, like your assignments. I'm pretty sure you'll have that option there. And then you'll have a listing of your assignments, and you can start working on your assignments. What you probably will have also is the Pearson eText, especially if you pay for that option. And just so that you have a kind of a feel for how that would look like, you click on the eText here, and voila, here's your book. You'll want to push this menu up, and then you'll go down to the chapters. Chapter 1, and now it's just as if you've got your book in front of you. Just kind of flip through the pages, read the book. This is page 3, and just kind of go through, and so the textbook is on it. So if you're comfortable with this, and like I said, the ideal situation would be is you have dual screens. You can put this off on one screen while you work on your homework assignments. If that's not an option for you, if you're, then that may not work as easy, but it's still, you have to decide whether an ebook will work out for you. Okay, so that's where the ebooks work. If you really want a physical book, then you can do that. You can actually also purchase a loose leaf when you register for My Lab. I think that's going to be a little bit more expensive. I'm going to guess about $70. So even then, you're looking at about $170, $180. And that would be a little bit less expensive than the COS bookstore, but and some of you just decide, I don't want to play any games. I want the My Lab registration code from the book or from the COS bookstore, and then also the textbook from the COS, so that way you've got everything. There's no question. But from then on, once you've registered and everything is done, you've paid for your subscription or you're using the temporary subscription, then from then on, when you're in My Accounting Lab, then you're actually going to literally just do that. You'll click on the assignments as an option and then click on here, and then you can start working on your assignments. Everything is embedded in Canvas, so that's why you don't need a course ID. You just click on the problem and start working. I'll just click on one and see what happens. So, yep, it's all right here. You just start working on it and put your information. Okay, now what I would also suggest is my preference would for you to be is to go to the modules section, and here they're broken up by weeks. So you'll see that week 1 has chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, and the examiner 1. So these are all due on June 7th. Now there are some lecture videos as well. So because of COVID, I went ahead and created lecture videos for my accounting courses that were live. We didn't even have lecture. I didn't have lecture videos before then. So you take this accounting course, just kind of reading the textbook from this. But now I do have these lecture videos that I created for my live classes during COVID. And I thought, well, I'm going to go ahead and use them for even my online courses. So there's a lot of every chapter has a number of videos, and the sections are broken down by section. And you can review those before you start working on your homework, so that you have a feel for what the assignments are about. They're really just they're the same videos that I use when I teach the course live. A lot of times I'll break up a spreadsheet to show you how things are computed. I'll use T accounts, and so there's a little bit more than just running through the slide. In fact, there's quite a bit more. The first chapter, or couple chapters, or first chapter for sure, is more conceptual. So there won't be a lot of me writing in them or anything. But I think maybe chapter 2 lecture videos, maybe. Let's see. Anything? No. Chapter 2 is when I actually start using spreadsheets. It's not showing on the startup screen here, the page here that shows the video, but you'll start to see some things that I actually do in the classroom, and that'll hopefully provide some additional guidance. Okay. So what I'm going to suggest is you follow the modules link and then look at the assignments, because there you're going to have lecture videos, you're going to have discussions, and your homework. So everything that you need to do for each week is listed in a specific module. Week 2 is 4, 5, 6, and then exam number 2. Week 3 is 7, 8, 9. So you can see it just goes on each week until you have a final. And then hopefully I have all the dates set, so when you're looking at the dates, it's consistent with what the calendar says. Hopefully I got it all right. Okay. Are there any questions about signing up for my lab or the modules? Any questions at all?
Yeah, I have a question.
Okay.
So, on my accounting lab, I bought the subscription, and when I go to eText
Yep.
for like a second, it pops up with the textbook, but then like it disappears.
Are you there?
I did. Yeah, can you hear me? Here, can you hear me now?
Just barely. You got real faint.
Okay, so I bought the subscription, and on the Pearson eText that is on the row or whatever, it like pops up with the eText, but I didn't buy it, so then it like disappears later. But I don't know where I can buy it through the through there, if it automatically just pops up.
I'm not sure either. When you you don't remember seeing it when you first subscribed, that you had that option?
No, when I first subscribed, it was just the regular subscription for $100, and I didn't see the option, so I just bought the subscription.
Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to stop sharing. I'm going to go ahead and change my security settings and enable share screens. Somebody posted, today's the official first day of class, and the answer is yes. Today's the first edition. All right, so is it Kira?
Yeah.
Okay, on your Zoom window,
Yes.
there's a green button that now says share screen on. I'll make sure whatever you have on your screens is appropriate because we're about ready to look at your screen and we don't need to see things that we don't need to see. So
Yeah.
So-
Where is the button?
it's on the Zoom window where everybody's name is listed, and whether you see maybe the picture
Oh,
of
yeah, I
somebody
see it.
like me. And on the bottom, there's a green button that says share screen. Do you see it?
Yeah.
Okay, so click on it and then you're gonna have like some options. Oh, you already jumped in front of me, so that's good.
Okay, so I go here and I press the view e-text and it brings me to the ebook. But I don't ever remember.
Oh, well then you got it. Click right there. Yeah, click on the menu there. Now click on, scroll down. Can you scroll down there? Oh, there's nothing there. Okay, so go ahead and close the e-text.
Okay.
Go back to the Pearson. I want you to click on where it says My Course in that arrow list that goes back.
Where it says what?
Where right under My Accounting Lab on the left side, on the top of that, yeah, right there. Click on the arrow list that's back. Now scroll down a little bit. Click on the details. Scroll down. Let's keep going. You know what? I think I'm going to have to say that I'm not sure how to do that. So what you're probably going to have to do is contact Pearson by clicking on that help button on the far right side. The other option is in Canvas. I do have a, well, click on the help button and see what happens on the far right, top right, help.
Okay. Let me get this out of the way.
Right where the little bell is, yeah, right there. Click on that. Student support, click on that. Try again. I don't know if it took.
Okay, here we go.
Gonna have to speak up. We can barely hear you.
What do I do from here then?
Click on the help button. I don't know if it actually took your help. Go ahead and put your cursor over the top of help. Oh, you're actually seeing a help button. Are you seeing a help? Go ahead and click on help.
This and then go
And
to
student,
student
click on
support.
that. See what happens. Are you getting another pop-up window somewhere?
Yeah, this is the pop.
Okay,
Pop-up
yeah, we can't see it because you identified one of your windows as dominant on your screen, that's okay. So from there, see what you can figure out on how to get some help from them. There's also, I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing your screen now, or change this. Well, go ahead and, yeah, thank you. So I'll go ahead and change the settings because we don't want anybody to show up and just put something on. All right. So the other option, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And the other option is to go to where's My Accounting Resources and Registration and some student support for My Accounting Lab, which I think this may be where you ended up. And you can connect with Pearson support. You click on it. And then, there's like a kind of a walkthrough to see if they get, and then ultimately I think there's either going to be a phone number or a chat that you'll have to talk to somebody and see if you can get that ebook issue resolved. Okay.
Okay.
You're the first person who's ever asked me that, so that's kind of weird. I've never. It should be something, and when you figure it out, let me know so that way the next student has it. I can see how it's done.
Okay.
Okay. It may be that you just have to go back and redo some things on your registration, but I don't know. But use that as your resource. Okay, Kira?
Okay. Thank
All right.
you.
All right, so we're back now here to the home page. Are there any other questions that we have for this course? And now it's really opened up completely to anything, the syllabus, the schedule, my lab, grades, anything at all. Are there any questions? Now
I have a question.
Okay.
So to do your homework, you can do it either on the MyLab or straight directly on the module.
Any way you do it, you have to go through Canvas, okay?
Okay.
So you can click on the assignments and then, you know, click on, I think you can click here, right? Yeah. And then they're all right there. Or you can go to the modules and then it's really the same thing. You just click on here and you'll see all of these assignments here. But what you don't want to do is go to myaccountinglab.com. You may get a set of instructions that tells you to do that, but this is not what you want to do, okay? And if you enter your sign-in name, then you're going to, it may ask you for a course ID, and that's when I'm going to know that you're not doing it the right way, okay?
Okay.
Everything is embedded in Canvas, and that's kind of good because whatever your scores are, they transfer over here to your grades. Well, I better not do that because,
I have a question.
yeah.
So all our like quizzes and exams are going to be taken through Peterson?
Yes, all of your
Yeah.
homework, except for the discussions, are done on Pearson.
Oh, okay. Sounds good.
The discussions are the only thing that you actually do in Canvas. So let's take a look at chapter 1 discussion. You'll see there's 2 questions, which then, you know, pretty much justifies why I want 2 well-developed paragraphs. So you can dedicate 1 paragraph to each question. Now, if you do more, that's fine. You know, don't feel like you're going to be limited. But if you do one sentences, I probably won't accept it. Because none of these questions are 1 sentence question or responses.
And that's throughout the whole 4 weeks, right? We don't have to have that done like today.
No, this, for example, is due June 7th. So that's Monday.
Okay, thanks.
And then, so just as a rule, chapter 1, 2, 3, those are all due June 7th. 4, 5, and 6 are due June 14th, et cetera. Again, if I've screwed up somewhere, then the calendar is going to be the guiding document. It's going to dictate everything. Okay.
I have another question.
Yes, sir.
After today, are we going to have any other live Zoom sessions?
No live sessions unless for some reason we determine that it's necessary. This is an online course. It's all going to be online. When you call me or email me, and it appears that the way we address your issue or question or concern is through Zoom, then I may set up a specific Zoom session just for you, or actually just go on Zoom because the links in Zoom are there, so it'll be the same one every time. But that link is just there now when you and I have talked about, hey, let's meet online. I don't have office hours during the summer, so it's not like I'm sitting there online waiting for you guys at any point in time.
Yeah, okay.
So you'll have to get a hold of me to tell me, well, first of all, we'll try to solve the problem without having to go online, but if we have to, we can do that.
So email is the way to get a hold of you if we need to?
Yeah, actually, it's more efficient that way because
Okay.
I'm constantly online. I'm constantly checking my emails. If you call me, there's a good chance that I'm just going to have to ignore the call and it goes to voicemail, and then I've got to remember that I've got a call. You could do both, and that would actually double your chances of me getting back in time. But I'm actually pretty good. I'm online constantly and checking my emails and stuff. So in fact,
Is your phone number like in the syllabus or?
You want to call me too? Nice. Yeah, it's there.
Okay.
Let me see. Let's see all my client stuff here. Where am I? Okay, here we go. Let's just make sure I said it is in syllabus. I think it's at the top. Yeah, it's there. Actually, you can see it right there. But burn it afterwards. I don't want you stalking me after the class is over.
So would you respond to text messages as well?
No,
No? Okay.
well, yeah, I will, but if you send me a text message, you're gonna have to tell me who you are, what class you're in, because I've got a ton of stuff going on. And I'm not as quick at responding to text messages as I am emails. If it's a, if you want to, if you ask me what is wrong with, I'm having trouble with problem one, I'm not going to text you anything. I'll just say, well, email me your problem. It's just texting doesn't quite work to solve problems. It'll take me too long to get you a response, and I can do it online a lot easier. What other questions do we have? Are you guys ready for this question? You're excited, I can tell, huh? Accounting actually, no matter what you've heard from other students, it's not very, very hard. I mean, it's not, a cakewalk. It's not, the slam dunk easy, but it's not really that hard. But it feels like it's hard because it's so comprehensive. There's just a lot you're covering in a very short period of time, and particularly when you're doing it in 4 weeks. So now, hopefully you don't have more than one summer class going on at one time, because if you try to do this with another summer class, and I don't even know if you can sign up for 2 in one session, but if you've got another summer course starting in the second session, that's going to be a death sentence. That's going to be tough. I mean, it can be done, I guess, but man, that's going to be tough. So be careful with that, because there's a lot of homework that you have to do, and it takes a lot of time, and you're trying to learn concepts while you're doing stuff, and and then we don't have the live interaction that we normally do during the semester. So
If we decided to drop this one and add the one that you have coming in 2 weeks for the 6 weeks, would we just email or text you for that code?
yeah, it can be done. It just, well, let's see. If you've already paid for it, you just have to get online. If it's not available immediately when you log in, because you're going to have the same email address and it'll be links coming through another course, it may be that it'll just come through anyway, that your subscription will be valid anyway. But if it's not there, then you'll have to contact Pearson to ask them, and they'll transfer it, because they'll transfer the subscription. I think it's like a 6-month subscription. But
Okay.
I don't know if it's an unlimited number of courses that you have. So you may have to, I don't know. So do it, and don't let it like put you in a position where you don't want to try, because we'll get it fixed, and I'll even help you if I have to get it fixed.
Right.
So if we have the opportunity to move ahead faster in this course, are we allowed to?
Yeah, I've actually set it up because it's such a short period of time that you have complete access to all the assignments. I think.
Awesome.
Well, let me go check. Pretty sure I did that, but let me go check. Yeah, see, these are all 19 and 20, right? So all of these times, I was thinking that, wait a minute, but it's been available since June 22nd, 2020. So the due dates are listed consistent with what they're due, and you should have access to all. It's changing, but it doesn't matter because it's all 2020, and we're in 2021. So you should have access. I didn't mess with this, figuring that you guys would maybe want to have access sooner, so that if you have a chance to move faster, you have the time it works for you. I don't normally do that because it's frustrating, but you guys have to promise me that you don't click on the wrong quiz, or because that's not cool. I don't like that. So just make sure you're conscious of what assignments you're clicking on. Don't click on the wrong one and make sure you do the right assignments. All right. Any other questions? Any questions at all? Going once? Going twice? Okay, let me make sure that I've covered everything.
I have a question.
Oh, yes. Yes, what's your question?
I'm going to be traveling at the end of this month, and I wanted to know if that would be like affect my ability to participate in the class.
Travel has no bearing on my end, but you got to make sure that you have access to wherever you're going to devices, computers, and internet, because there won't be any extensions just because you're traveling. So if you're going to, well, I don't want to get into your personal business, but do you mind sharing where you're going, or is that something you want to share?
To Yemen.
Yemen. That's like Southeast Asia? Where's Yemen at?
No, next to Saudi Arabia.
Oh, okay, so that's like Middle East. Okay. All right. So you might want to check beforehand whether wherever you're going.
They are in an active war, though.
Okay. Yes. As long as wherever you're going or how you're traveling doesn't interfere with your ability to get online. That's really the kicker for you. You got to make sure that you have access. And then if you're going to be traveling for some extended period of time, you got to make sure you've accounted for that travel time, so that you're not in a position where assignments are due on that date or whatever. You've got them done in advance. Okay.
Okay.
But it doesn't impact me at all. Heads up, it seems like whenever I've had any like browser issues, Macs are the ones that generally can give us a little bit of problem. If you're using a Mac, I might suggest that you go ahead and download Google Chrome on Mac, because it's not only the Mac, it's not necessarily even the Mac, it's the Safari, the browser on a Mac that sometimes creates or sometimes seems to give some issues. So if you're going to be using, an Apple device, then you might want to make sure that the Apple device has Google Chrome on it, so that seems to be better for access to online web technology. That's a bit of a heads up, but same thing, I can't give extensions if you're having trouble with your device or your browser or whatever. That's something you have to figure out in advance. Any other questions? Someone posted something. Let me stop sharing. Somebody posted, maybe I might be traveling. Oh, okay, thanks. That was a question. So I think we addressed that question in the chat. Any other questions at all? Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and call it an evening. Certainly, if you have questions after the fact, if you think of something, you certainly can send me an email, and I will take a look. Otherwise, everybody have a wonderful day. I'll go ahead and post this. I don't know if I'll post it tonight, but sometime soon. So as soon as I get a chance, I'll post it. All right. Have a wonderful day and good luck with everybody. I hope you enjoy the course. Thank you.